They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zod. Anyways, man, real quick. Basically, you can tell by the title exactly where I'm going to go with. I'm going to try to keep it within, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, you know me, a little scatterbrained. I tend to pull from like everywhere because that's just how my brain works. But before I even get into that, man, shout out to Risky Rich, man. Shout out to FMO Risky Rich. Shout out to Risky from Little Monsters. That's my boy, you know what I mean? He be repping for the squad and trying to do his thing and really be trying to put things together. So, man, kudos to you, man. And hopefully, you know, we can get that done as far as like these little club vibes and shit. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, it comes down to this. You know, you have a lot of females that got this whole mentality that man ain't shit. And for the most part, in a lot of cases, there are a lot of men that ain't shit. It's just the way we were taught, the way we were, you know, and not necessarily the way we were taught. It's just it comes down to sometimes the way we were raised are the ones that influenced us the most, the ones that we're around, things that we saw. That's how that's a learned process. You know what I mean? It's not something you just pick up. You know what I mean? It was a learned process, but a lot of females tend to take that and run with it. But at the end of the day, it's like they say, if you pick up a chick in a bar, you know what type of chick you're getting. Not necessarily it's gonna always be bad, but for the most part, you're picking up a chick in a bar and having sex. You already know basically where that relationship is gonna go to. If you pick a chick up in the alley or a street corner, you know basically you already know what type of chick you're gonna get. It's like getting with a chick that you know loves to wear Daisy Dukes all up in the crack her ass. You know what type of chick you're gonna get. For one, there's no modesty to her. She's all out in public, and most of her goods are hanging out. And to me, like, that's not chauvinistic, and it's not me trying to downgrade them, because at the end of the day, you as a person, you're able to do and choose what you want. I mean, unless you do something bad, then there's consequences. But even in that sense, like when you're walking around half clothed, there's consequences to that as well. You know what I mean? And a lot of females, they get on there and be like, oh, well, this fool, he objectified me. Well, you got half your ass out. You know what I mean? You got half your tits out. You talking about blowing fools in the back of buses, and it may be for comedy, but for it, if you constantly putting posts up about that, of course a man is going to assume that that's the way you are. Which there's nothing wrong with it. Not to say that he should have right to your body or nothing, because then I would say all rapists or any rapist should never be convicted, because they should have right to your body since you're showing it. I'm not on here stating that. That's bull. You know what I mean? But don't expect a man to give you your crown, and half the time that he's known you or seen you, you got your ass out for everybody to see you. It's like a female walking around my homeboys. You know what I mean? Ass all out. Like, yeah, that was good for the hood rats, and that was good for chicks that I was probably going to pass to the homies anyway. But for righteous to be around my homies half-ass dressed, that's just something I'm not into. Them are the females that get absolutely no real energy. You know, I like a girl that's a freak but modest at the same time. Now, with that being said, not to go off topic, but this is some of the reasons why when females say man ain't shit, and wonder why they suffer certain plights, as far as like you know, my whole thing is about females and children. You know what I mean? You have a lot of females that like to tell their children that their man ain't shit, that your dad was a deadbeat, your dad was this, your dad was that, all because they're frustrated, and then be wondering why their children grow up with that same train of thought and feel as if they can be disrespectful, not only to their dad but to their elders in general. Like I've dealt with this firsthand and have seen and been at war with my ex significant other over this same topic. Like, it's like, at the end of the day, children should always respect their elders regardless of the situation. As long as it's not one of them situations where you're being touched or you're just being outright disrespected and beat on, you should show respect to absolutely everybody that walk in the house. You should show respect to your elders on the street. You should be one of them kids. You should be well mannered. But a lot of females nowadays set their children up for failure. First, you had it with the moms telling their daughters that they don't need no man and don't depend on no man. It's cool. Don't depend on a man. That should always be I even say that don't depend on the man, but to go out of your way to tell your daughter you don't need your man and that all men are bullshit. And for one, that's kind of hypocritical, because you laid down and had a baby with a man, because not another female can give you a baby. Two men can't give men a baby, and that's not to go into a whole different topic, but it's just just what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, when I see this, it frustrates me. It frustrates me a lot, because I know a lot of dudes that got out or never even went to jail in the first place, that really were set on taking care of their children, or trying to be some type of symbol for them, you know, as far as like, hey, you know, look at this is lead by example, you know, and that's in that sense, like, okay, look at, well, in order to get this, you know, I got to do this, you know what I mean, and you don't feel bad about it, because it's something that you should do as a man or woman anyway, you know what I mean. But then you got when you're constantly facing opposition with females that feel like, you know, you got in the communities now, like, you know, remember back in the days, like, you had your neighbors will beat your ass, like, if you do something wrong and your mom wasn't around, you got neighbors that were so close with the family, they were spanking that ass, you know what I mean. Of course they can't do it now, but before, you were getting chastised. Like, it's like, I remember times when I was young and I would do something stupid, my mom wasn't home. We had played family members, you know what I mean? Everybody out played cousins in black families. But you'll have these family members that they've been around so long, they're not by blood, but they've been around for a long time. So it's like, they end up whooping your ass. Your mom don't even have to get home. She's like, hey, I whooped his ass. All right, that's what he gets. And then you get your ass whooped again, because your mom was like, oh no, don't think you got off, because they might have felt like, even if you did get a good ass up, now it's my turn to give you that ass up. So, you know, it was like, it was constantly reinforced. So kids didn't really feel the need to be disrespectful towards anybody, because there was consequence to your action. Like, there was, nowadays it's like you have so many people with the man and stuff outside of the house, you know, uncles not really participating in their nephew's life, because they can't, because you're dealing with this new generation. It's older generation as far as like the parents, but with a millennium sort of thought, like, you know, kids should not have to speak, should not have to show respect. Respect should be earned instead of given off the back. You know what I'm saying? And this is even to the ones where, like, okay, well, your kids don't have to show respect to their parents. Their parents should have to earn that respect. Now, I don't understand this train of thinking, and that's why I say a lot of you females fucking set your kids up for failure. Because, and I'm gonna say this like this. There's a lot of kids out there right now that go around being disrespectful and feeling like there's really no consequence to it, because they know the only real course of action is to beat their ass. You know what I mean? Whether it's with the bell, whether it's with it, you know, when you're a kid and you do certain things, you know, you might get spanked. You know what I mean? You get a little bit older, like, you know, you get a whooping. You know what I mean? Because now it's like that ass. It's not tender enough, because and nowadays people don't do that, but it's not tender enough, so, you know, and then you get to the point to where you're of age and you become almost like opposition, because you're no longer a child, you're a grown woman or a grown man. So, and you're dealing with those who have old ways of thinking and hold tight to the old ways of thinking and the tradition of really doing things. And that's, if you get disrespectful, I'm gonna beat your ass. That's just the way a lot of us think. Like, we refuse to be disrespectful. How many homies have felt the chancla from the moms? Like, you say something up under your breath, she catch you, boom, it come across the room. Well, even though it may not hurt, it's real consequence to your actions. So you learn not to say certain things. And that's not everybody. I know some people that used to be super disrespectful, cussing and all this other shit. I wasn't brought up like that. I was brought up, if you cuss, you were getting your ass whipped. And that's just the way it was. But like I said, I just made this video just to point out certain things with females that where you're fucking up. You should never tell your daughter that she don't need a man. You know what I'm saying? You're setting them up for something that you don't need to set them up for. You can tell your daughter not to rely on a man, because to to be brutally honest, you should rely on absolutely nobody. That's just in general. You gotta go out and get it your own if possible. Never tell your kids that it's okay to be disrespectful or not to show respect to an adult, because not what in your household it may be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to that point to where it's like, oh, it's not really nothing if they don't want to speak. But then on the street, your kids will do the same thing and think that shit will fly, and there'll be somebody outside that will really hurt them. Like you have people that act like they're just not scared of nothing, but then you look at them and you see their heart. You see their heart. They know, you know. And that's all I'm really going to say on that. You know what I mean? It's one of those things, man, you know. But teach your kids to respect everybody. Teach your kids not to be disrespectful little fucking pricks. Teach your daughter that it's okay to want a man but not need him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay but not need him for everything. But just to say flat out, you don't need a man. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, you throwing her to the other side or what? And kids nowadays, man, learn to show respect to everybody, all adults, all your elders. Show respect, because one of them people that you refuse to show respect to might be the reason why you ain't breathing in the morning. It's just that simple. Like I say it a lot, and I may not formulate it the way I wanted to, but it's just like I see this all the time. Cats are getting out of jail dealing with the same freaking bull. Women that can't grab their freaking nuts since you say that you can raise a man, but you refuse to grab your freaking nuts once in your life and tell people what they need to do. And wonder why a lot of these kids don't want to move out their house. They don't want to do nothing in life. They're looking for fast money, and they end up doing something that's fast money and getting their ass put in a position to where they can't just walk in and out their house. You are setting your kids up for failure. Learn to tell your kids to show freaking respect to all their elders. Learn to tell your kids when to keep their freaking mouth shut. Know when a situation is a win and know when it's a loss. Teach your daughters to respect their freaking man. Now, if you're dealing with a man that treats you like trash and beats on you, then no, that's why you got family members to deal with that. But teach your kids to be fucking responsible instead of being little a-holes and little hood rats on the street, you know, looking for everything that they should have at the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just I see this all the time, and people wonder why kids are built. It's like the moms. You set your kids up to be pansies. You set your kids up to be weak, inadequate, unable to function in life by themselves. I didn't have everything, but I was able to get out there on the street and do it that way. But that's because I chose to go that route. I was already in the streets, already gangbanging, already doing stupid stuff. So there was nothing for me to go there. But what happens when you take a kid that ain't got nothing to do with the streets and he's forced to get out there? What a lot of you kids don't understand right now is your parents ain't going to be around forever. That shit is going to run out. So if you don't build the skills and you don't build that will to survive now, once that time hits and that rug is pulled from up under your feet, you ain't gonna know what to do. You ain't gonna know what the hell to do with yourself. Right now, I can point out people for a fact. If their parents were to die right now, they would be finished. They would go from that to relying on another family member. You know, no real mental structure as far as like, and no real mental stability, like to be able to formulate thoughts in order something that's gonna help you proceed to the next point. Like, okay, well, you know what? Well, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna get this job. You know, none of that. It's just, oh God, what the hell am I gonna do? You know, mom's gone, dad's gone. You know, my sisters, if you have it, or my brothers, if you have it, they already got their family, so I can't be sleeping on their couch. You see what I'm saying? Fortify this motherfucker. And for you weak ass women that constantly entertain the fact that your kids being disrespectful, twit, you need to do something about yourself. You need to really get on board and really teach your children that respect is a major thing. And without it, you can get nowhere. You think these kids are gonna grow up and be able to hold their tongue when they're dealing with their bosses? I've seen it. A lot of you should grab your nuts. You can't raise a man, that's true. Before I end it, and for you people that are so against, you know, another family member like a brother, or, you know, putting hands on your kids when they're fucking up, it's you're the problem. That's all I'm gonna say. You're the problem. Because now it's like if I grew up that way and I didn't have to worry about that, I wonder how I would turn out. But anyways, man, which I turned out as a gangster, but I still don't cuss around none of my uncles, none of my tias, nothing. I don't cuss around. I don't do none of that. So I guess you pick up good and you pick up bad. But with that being said, your boys, I'm out.
Kneel before Zod!